How old was Jesus by the time the Magi got to Bethlehem? The common consensus is he was 2, and that's based on the verse that says Herod wanted to kill all the babies 2 and under. In this reel, I'm going to share a little different idea. So I've been going through a couple of different reels. This is part 4 because there's 2 different signs, one for conception and one at birth. So go check out part 1. So if we think about it, the sign that they saw was conception. Although they didn't know that at the time, they could have taken a couple months to prepare and then plenty of months, 5-6 months, to travel from Babylon over to Jerusalem and Bethlehem. They could have potentially been there by the time Jesus was born. So now let's dig in a little bit deeper into the whole 2 years old. Real quick, this is Matthew 2, verse 11, and it shows up multiple other times, but it says, the Magi entered the house, they saw the young child. That word for young child is paidion in the Greek, and can mean a young child, little boy, little girl, infant, and my head's in the way, more of an advanced child, or recently born. That's the important one right there. It may be true that the majority of times paidion is used to refer to a young child, 2 years old or 3 years old, but not always the case. Here is a verse, Luke 1:59. On the 8th day, they circumcised the child, John the Baptist, son of Zacharias. And it may be true that the Magi saw a young child, 8 days old, or even younger, an infant, newly born. Another important thing to consider is they didn't do birthdays back then. When it was New Year, everybody got a year older. Also, they included the time in the belly. Life starts at conception. So by the time the baby was born, they were 1 year old. And then when the new year came around, the baby was 2 years old. So let's think about what Herod asked the Magi. They saw the star rising in the east. When did you see that? Oh, it was last year. Okay, so they don't know if the sign was for the birth or the conception. So Herod's playing it safe here. If it was for the birth, then the baby would have been 1 last year, which means this year it would be 2 years old. If it was for conception, then they would have been born this year, so less than 2. So when Herod ordered the soldiers to kill all the babies 2 and under, all they had to do was go door to door and say, was your baby born last year? Any time last year? If it was a yes, then he would kill the babies. Once we account for the age increments that they did back then, the birthdays, and considering that the Magi saw the sign for conception, I think it's very possible that the Magi arrived very soon after Jesus' birth. And yes, there is one verse that says, after Jesus was born, the Magi saw him. Could have been 1 day after, could have been a week after, we don't know.